There was a day when the bugles of elk were heard in the land from below the Arctic Circle to the Gulf of Mexico. Now their home is the home of Sasquatch Mountain Man. For Laramie Miller, the way to elk is the path of his ancestors, who stalked with bows of their own. This is elk hunting. That's the boss. Call him in and launch an arrow.
Oh man, if I'd had a compound, he would have been dead. This whole longbow, 30, 35 yards, that's my max. I told myself before I even came out here that was my max. It's tempting to take that shot when he's right there, but if you're not comfortable with it, don't take it. That's the ethical thing to do.
Laramie needs to get to the top of things, where his bugle can echo down into all the bottomless canyons and shadowy timber the elk call their home.
This canyon is freaking lightened up. When it happens like that.
Somewhere, this old boy got into a wreck on the left side of his rack. Apparently, that wreck didn't ball up this bull's brains. But it ain't over yet, and if Sasquatch can bide his time, there's a chance that even this snaggle-horned bull could make a fatal mistake.
Hit him good. That's a dead elk walking, buddy. That is cool.
That was last season. Now it's time to find new territory where the elk sound from the ridges. There's a passel of ways of getting through the mountains, but the only way for Sasquatch has 4 hooves and a tail and carries all his truck on its back.
You know, whenever you're coming into the mountains, I always have people ask me, well, what do you bring? Well, me personally, I just bring the bare minimum because I've been out here enough. I know what I'm going to need, what I'm not. I don't want to carry too much. I want it to be light and be able to move fast. But if you're planning a trip out here and you want to go horseback or packing in or whatever you're going to do, I'll give you a few tips. Bring rain gear, because the Rocky Mountains, you never know. Bring some extra socks, because once your feet get cold, you're done for. You're no good. And you also bring something to cook with. Bring a pot, pans, cooking utensils. You're going to need lots of stuff to start fires. Practice up a little bit, because you don't have a fire and you get cold and you might not come out of the mountains. Or if you do, it might be on the back of a horse or a helicopter or some way where your heart ain't beating no more. For the most part, the woods will give you what you need to survive. But if you haven't been out here enough, don't think you know. Bring what you're gonna need. One thing about the good old Rocky Mountains is, yeah, you can walk back in here and hunt. I can promise it's 100 times easier on a horse, especially if you wind up getting something killed. Packing it out on your back when you're 15 miles back in the middle of nowhere ain't no fun.
and it's looking like the real fun is fixing to commence. The echoes of last season's elk hunt sound for Sasquatch. This season, Laramie's tightening the cinches on his horses and packing into the mountains.
You can walk back in here and hunt. I can promise it's 100 times easier on a horse.
The working ends of a horse need expert tending.
What we're gonna do now is we're heating up just a bar of steel. We're gonna make a few horseshoes. You always need horseshoes in the mountains.
Smithing black metal, as iron's called, gives the blacksmith his handle. Indians never shod their ponies, but let their hooves wear naturally on the ground. For Laramie, though, climbing into steep Rocky Mountains, he needs horseshoes on his string the way he needs boots on his feet. But once you shoe your horses, you have to make sure to keep their hooves healthy, and that means new shoes whenever necessary. And Laramie wants to be certain he has a perfect fit.
That's pretty dang close. All you gotta do is punch out your nail holes, put your grooves in, and it's ready to slap on a horse.
The climb done, the stock can be sent out to graze while Laramie goes about the chores of pitching camp. For a week up here, you don't want one of those nylon trash bags you have to crawl in and out of. Built right, a wall tent can be as dry and warm as a canvas cabin.
You're gonna need lots of stuff to start fires. You get wet weather and it starts raining and everything in the woods is damp, plus the elevation, we'll see how good of a fire starter you are. It's a lot harder to start a fire at 10,000 feet than it is at 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet. I don't care what kind of supplies you have to start a fire, so practice up a little bit, because you don't have a fire and you get cold and you're gonna get pneumonia, hypothermia. You might not come out of the mountains.
Something tells me that when Sasquatch comes out of these mountains, it'll be tall in the saddle. last season, Laramie's bugling brought a bull with twisted horns into range of his longbow. And in the red heat of the blacksmith's fire, Laramie has shoes for his horses for the mountains. As soon as camp is raised, Laramie can take to the trails in the tracks of the elk. Cow calling is as important as bugling for getting a bull to answer. Looks like it's time for Sasquatch to find greener pastures or blacker timber. Years of bugling by hunters have educated elk so that to be successful at it today requires a wide repertoire of calls and consummate skill.
Couple bulls that are bugling clear across the canyon. And I had another bull bugle over here on my side of the canyon. I stopped, I called for a little bit. Nothing happened. So I was sitting there taking a lunch break, and I'd be danged if that bull didn't come sneaking in. This is elk hunt.
For all the braggadocious squealing and bugling, when a bull elk comes in, it's just like a ghost, appearing out of nothing. Bugles between hunter and elk echo back and forth. Last season, it looked like the elk knew the game, but Laramie Miller's arrow flew straight. It's new shoes for Sasquatch's horses and new trails to break to this season's elk camp. With the tent pitched behind, Sasquatch works his way to where the bulls can hear him. Could be that Sasquatch has done too good of a job of elk calling, This bull has him pinned down, so he can't even bring up his bow. It's a bow hunter's dream. If only Sasquatch had a whipsaw to fell that tree. As long as the bull stands head on or behind a tree, there is no shot. For Laramie, the seconds pass as fast as pines grow, and this bull should be counting his lucky stars. Old Sasquatch probably ain't got enough spit left to lick a stamp, but as long as the bull won't come into the clear, he just has to hang fire. This elk has got himself buried in the brush like a tick on a porcupine, and it looks like Sasquatch can only sit and watch. For this bull, it's back into the timber. While Laramie uses some language that ain't hardly Christian.
Sucks. That was a big. That really sucks. He was at about 40 yards, which I would have taken the shot on him. This one branch in my way. He had me locked down, I couldn't move. So close, but yet so far.
Sasquatch may be spitting nails, but back in camp, he'll have a campfire and hot food and a good tent to sleep in, and he'll dream of new trails and elk standing tall tomorrow.